Okay, we are live. Thank you everybody for getting on. We're going to be doing the last Tuesday of every month is going to be the leaders call. This is reserved exclusively for Emerald Rank and higher. It's definitely not diluted information. I'm going to try to have guest speakers on like Jason to, give more, leader, what is it? Leader, things. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, there are people talking outside. Let me use information aimed towards leaders to help you grow your business. I wanted to go over a few things. I've been noticing a lot of negative posts in the groups, not pointing any fingers, but I really want to keep all the groups as positive as possible. I know there's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that go on with, people, customers or other people on our team, but let's try to keep it as positive as possible because we have a lot of new coaches coming in. So there's a lot of, chatter about coach relations, about customers, about, fellow coaches that really discourage a lot of people. And I've noticed, and I think that, maybe if you guys go back and saw some of the posts, there are more, response on the negative post than on the positive. So let's all make a point to keep our post positive, keep uplifting, really engage in the positive post to because it's infectious, whether it's negative or positive. So let's go with positive goals for this next year, because like I said, new coaches they read these things and they get discouraged. So if we're talking about coach relations, we really send off the wrong messages. And I know that people get discouraged. And I know, I always diffuse it by, saying that we have almost 240,000 coaches now. We have a lot of things going on. This next month is going to be nuts with coach relations because of the cup. If you've not been affiliated with Team Beachbody through a cup, get prepared. And this is just, the normal people that want to come up with a lot. There's a lot of changes going on with, Beachbody. February 15th is my 3-year anniversary of being a coach. And I'll tell you that there is a lot of changes, a lot of, things in the back office as far as rules go, programs, things like the cup, all classic, all these things. They're trying their best. And a lot of these, coach relations managers, they're not coaches. So they're going off of, their database. So, be patient with them and try to diffuse the situation. And I know the other day, what does that say? Somebody said, oh, can you please mute yourself if you haven't, guys? Because there's a lot of feedback. So just try to diffuse the situation. I know Heather was saying the other day that she's having a lot of problems with her customers. So me and her were talking privately. I said, tackle each one at a time and, do your best. Couple of things before I get Jason on is if you haven't seen this book before, I'm reading it. I'm almost done with it. It's The Power of Nice. Louise and I went to a John Maxwell leadership seminar back in November, and I picked up this book. And I will say that this is so good when it comes to relationships, to customers, and just as a whole, and it will help improve your business. And they're great reminders. And this is great about customer service and just attracting people and really building your reputation. And word of mouth is all about being nice. And a lot of the things that I've seen in the groups, it has a lot to do with frustrations with customers or coaches. So pick up this book. It is I don't know how many pages it is. It's 120 pages, but it's a real, it's a small book. Pick this up. It'll be worth your time. I promise you. And then what I've been doing is the books that I get done reading, I pass it along to new coaches. This is one thing that I've been doing, and I got a message from my new coaches the other day about personalization. I sent her a Team Relentless shirt. I sent her one of the Success from Home magazines. If you don't have those, get those. A couple Shakeology trifold brochures, things to just get them going on their business. And I've been thanked immensely by these new coaches for the personalization, for a welcome pack to help them get started. So if you haven't done this, invest in this, because who doesn't like free gifts? I've seen Lindsay, I've seen Leslie, I've seen all these people, Louise, Gabriel, all these people jump to these things where you can get prizes. Everybody likes gifts in the mail, recognition. That's one of the great things about Beachbody. So do this, when you onboard coaches, welcome them, get them set up right, get them, don't just tell them buy personal development or read personal development. Give them something that's easy to read, like GoPro, Compound Effect, or this book are really great books to get people involved. Like I said, they're short. They really help their whole business and their life on a whole. So read this, if put it on your list for your next books to read. Last thing before I put Jason on is we're doing the Push for Diamond group that Christy and Becky are facilitating. This is something that if you're trying to advance in rank, if you're on this call, I know that you're a leader, you want to grow your business, so get your teams involved. Watch the video. I watched it 3 times to absorb it all. This is going to help grow your business. Understand it. If you put your coaches in it, you are required to join it. You are required to help facilitate the group. This is not, we put our people in there and we expect Becky and Christina to run it. Same thing as all my challenge groups. You're free to run your challenge groups with me, put your people in there, but I'm not going to help your people. I'm not going to work your business for you. So make sure that when you are, inviting your coaches, don't post it in the group and tag all your coaches, because they're not going to know what to do. Reach out to them privately. Tell them why this is important. Tell them that you're going to be participating in it with them, and, get them included. Get them. Do the same thing with the cup. Make sure that you are going straight to the people and talking to them and telling them why this is beneficial, what they can gain from it, and that you're going to be doing it along with them. I'm going to be doing this Push to Diamond group. Obviously, I'm, already received the diamond rank, but I'm going to be, taking part in this to help other people to learn, pick up things from, Becky and Christina, and, the videos that they're going to be posting are things that definitely can help us in our business. Maybe they're things that we haven't thought of. I think that a lot of the material, is from Brigitte Linford. She's amazing. So these are great things to do. So make sure that you reach out to your coaches. February 6th is the last date to get registered. So, Leslie, Amy, Sherry, Stacy, Stephanie, get registered. Lindsay, get Brooke on there. I know that she's, pushing, she's doing great. Get these people on there. There's, skin in the game. They can earn money from it. So that's all I have to say about that. Just, recap. Let's try to keep the groups positive. I know the end of the year for me was a lot of marriage issues, depression, distractions from team shit, and people follow me, and so I will be the first to, own it, that I'm, a big part of it. So we're leaders. Our groups show up. When we show up, they feed off of our, mental and emotional state. They feed off of the things that we do and the actions that we put forth. So make sure that you are stepping up as a leader and that you're doing everything you need to do. So little background, Jason is in our direct upline. He's Becky's coach's coach. Becky doesn't really have a coach right now. It's switched a couple times, but that's where he is in our lineage. And Louise said he's hot. He's amazing. He was one of the top coaches. He's in the Millionaire Club. I got the pleasure of meeting him. Actually, yesterday was our 2-year anniversary that I met him. He had posted months before about Danny Johnson, about how Danny Johnson was so awesome. I ordered the First Steps to Wealth book that he suggested. It's sat on my bookshelf. I saw that Danny Johnson was coming to Dallas because he posted in the Diesel Nation group. I wanted to get close to him because I'm all about that. You get in where you fit in, and if you want to be successful, you surround yourself with successful people. I didn't know if I'd ever get to meet him, but I'd heard nothing but great things, and he is a hands-on person. He can look right at you. He can look at your, PV and your, organization and say if you're a rock star and you can do it. And I remember he logged in under Becky after the 2012 Success Club trip when she met him in Atlantis, and he said, this is your rock star right there. He'd never met me. We weren't even friends on Facebook, but right there was that somebody believed in me, and I didn't even really know who he was, but I friended him. Then I'm like, he believed in me, and I wanted to make sure that I got to know him. So I drove to Dallas all by myself in January 26th of 2013. I met him, and he took me under his wing along with several other elite coaches that he introduced me to, Heather Dixon, Caroline Van Zant, Tommy Migrant, and I spent the whole weekend with them, and I really attribute my success to how they treated me. And I always promised myself that when I hit elite, I would do the same thing in return. Allie Upham and Melissa McAllister were very monumental too. And so they've been my mentors. They've become my friends, and they're very successful. There is no doubt that they're still here because they're still doing the same things that helped them be successful early on in their career, and they are doing them still. Obviously we have to tweak things and, try different ways of marketing ourselves or, doing business, but overall they're doing the same bottom line, actions that they did, the 3 vital behaviors. And I followed them, and I have not reinvented the wheel. And the coaches on my team who have been successful are the same way. They haven't reinvented the wheel, and they've learned from this. How he helped me was, I was kind of all over the place. I had set tentatively at the end of 2012 a goal to quit my job on my 2-year anniversary, which would have been February 15th, 2014. And I actually quit a couple months early. But he helped me really reevaluate how to get my goals and how to strategically run my business. And so that's one thing why I asked him to be on this call. If you haven't seen it yet, I did post in the Relentless Leaders group. There's this new form that is available, and there's a video to go along with it on how to track your elite, because I didn't understand how elite was calculated or how to really, I guess, reverse engineer it. And he helped me there, and now we have the form that wasn't available when I met him. So we're going to go over this because we're very early in the year. Don't let the year get away from you. If you're going for elite, let's come up with, solid goals, how to evaluate your goals, because each one of you are on this call. Goals might be a little bit different, and the way you engineer it might be different, but he's going to help you learn how to make it work for you and figure out what is the best way to get there. I'm going to make him a host now, and you're good. All right, ready? You're on, Jason.
So, do you hear me okay?
I can.
And do you see what? Team Beachbody slide? What do you see?
You'll have to hit share screen to do that.
Okay.
At the very bottom of it, I think it says share screen. Can you see that?
Yeah, okay. So you see my screen now?
Yep.
You see the one with my picture, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have 5 screens, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. I'm lost. I'm lost with all my screens.
Uh-oh.
So right now you see the PowerPoint
Yes.
slides. I'm gonna get this 1 second. I like your banner there, Mindy. Where you get that from?
My husband had it made. One of our friends in Houston does like screen printing and stuff like that.
I need that. How to get rid of this?
Okay, I heard something. Okay, are you going to get around me, or what are you going to do?
Uh-oh. Is everybody on still?
Yeah, I think we're good now. So you see a bunch of icons now? Is that what?
You have to do screen share, and then I think, there you go. Now we see you.
Okay, where are we at? So yeah, that's me. Just to say a little bit about my story. I was married before and fat and an engineer. But back in 2003, I started Power 90 for the first time. And so I started getting results. But the message boards and this community was so good. I'm like, if I am not careful, I'm going to get divorced. This is a picture of me and my son back in the apartments back in Texas. So it was pretty close to you, Dallas. And he was a weightlifter too. And again, I had some pretty gnarly before pictures. But this was one of the cool things for me is this is one of the first, I guess it was like a super Saturday. But this is before they even called it Team Beachbody. They called it $1 Million Body. And for me to see these people up on stage really inspired me. And you see a couple of those people are still around, Shailene Booker, Robert Hudgens. But the majority, but the majority of those people have kind of come and gone. This was one of the first events I went to with Tony, and at that event, like everybody that's come away from that event has been really successful. I would recommend going to events. The following week, I met up with Tony in LA, and so I got to work out with the Sunday Workout Buddies. And I was actually in an infomercial for 10-Minute Trainer. Later on, Christina and Becky did the same sort of infomercial. This is where I got my tattoo. Those are a couple of slides that aren't there. I've been elite 2010, 11, 12. I was the 18th $1 million earner. I've been on a couple of the infomercials like P90X and Body Beast. I won $1,000 in the competition. I'm the guy with the P90X tattoo. A lot of people know me as the one that's dated Barbie Decker, or the guy that's created coaching codes. And some of the things I'm proud of more recently is working with Tony Robbins. I co-authored a book with Bob Proctor. So those are all the different things I've done. But kind of what I talked about with Becky and with Mindy are what are your priorities in this business? So a lot of people come on and say they want to be 15-star diamond coach. They want to go on this top coach trip. They want to be elite. And all these different priorities. And sometimes it gets a little confusing. So what would I suggest as priorities? Number one, I want you to help yourself and others. Number two, I say do your Success Club 5 or 10 every month. Number three, your job is to maximize your income, and that mostly means maximizing your volume. Number four, earn and maintain a high enough rank so that you can achieve all the money that you earn from Team Cycle bonuses. And then number five is Success Club trips and other contests, you know, like the Team Cup challenges coming on. By all means, like if you can take these priorities and you know, do all of them at the same time, you know, kind of cascade priorities, I think that is best. But in lieu of not being able to do that, I think go with those priorities as I have listed there. So I just want to talk a little bit about how you earn money in this business. It sounds like the majority of the people on the call are already Emerald, they're right around Emerald. But if our third priority is to earn income from the business, we need to see where income comes from. So the question that I would ask here is it really all about achieving rank? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having problems with these slides. But I got it here. Oh, God. Oh my God, there's tons of stuff. Okay, I think I see a way around it now. Okay, so yeah, the question I ask is it really all about achieving rank? Rank is really just the permission to earn money, and volume determines how much you actually earn. So we need both of these things. So I like to start out with a number, and this is something Beachbody asked me about, is how can you show people how to earn $1,000 a week? So one of the ways I'd like to do that is show like one of the first checks where I earned $1,000, because I think most people on this call, would be pretty happy if they were earning at least $1,000 a week. So I think that's kind of a good place to start. So when I show this actual $1,000 week, only $20 came from subscriptions. I think this is a new part of the business that's going to be growing, because subscriptions now will include this Beachbody On Demand. So this is one area of your business you will be able to improve upon, but it was a relatively small portion of my check. Retail commission, if you can earn $70 or $100 a week in commission, that's pretty good. It's a couple challenge packs. And matching bonus was $122. Most people don't know what matching bonus is, but it's when your PS coaches earn cycle bonuses, you get a percentage of their cycle bonus based upon your rank. Ruby gets 5%, Diamond gets 10%. But you can see the vast majority of my check here, 80% of this check was purely through team cycle bonus. So as much as we like the 15-star rank and top coach trips and elite, the way to earn long-term residual money in this business is through cycle bonus. And if you combine those two, team bonus and matching bonus, which happens from your coach doing cycle bonuses, that's 91% of my paychecks. So what do you need to earn the bonuses? You have to be at least Emerald, and it sounds like most people on the call are there. Your team has to do business, so you have to get team volume or TV. And your PS coaches need to be doing both of these things so that they earn cycle bonuses. So we've kind of talked about these priorities already. And when you first get in the business, it seems like you're alone. And that's not necessarily true, because you've got two legs, you've got Mindy above you, you've got Team Diesel above you. So your job is kind of to maximize this income. And I'm going to jump around here a little bit. Bear with me. So it sounds like most people on the call are already Emerald. And I just want to kind of do some review of what Emerald is. So you're Emerald because you've got two PS coaches that are active. One way I recommend to go Emerald if you're struggling with this, or if you're trying for a higher rank like Diamond, is to use this website I have called emeraldcostanalysis.com. It gives you this unique idea and way to become Emerald. strictly by signing up to parents or family members. So if you're Emerald and you're striving for Diamond, you might talk to your coaches about, you know, enrolling their family members so that they can become Emerald and you can go up to Diamond. That website has a little analysis in terms of what it costs for somebody to enroll and how much it would cost for them to go Emerald. So you never spend more than $500 total. After 5 months, you should be profitable. And by month 12, you should have earned $1,500 strictly from the free clients that you get from being an Emerald coach. So this is how the family plan would work, or what I'm calling the family plan. You sponsor two family members, and where do you put your spouse? A lot of people think in the beginning for volume and bonus, it makes sense to put them on the weak leg. But for long-term Diamond placement and for big carryover volume, it might make sense to have your spouse on the strong leg. And which is best really depends on your own needs and if you need to be earning a lot of income right now, or if you're more in it for the long haul and building for long-term profitability. Or you can do a combination of this. You know, if you sponsor one coach and you use a family member, or, you know, use a family member and sponsor another coach, then either way, you're back to Emerald. And again, I'm showing this to you all because I understand most people here are already Emerald. But if you want to make your teammates Emerald, this is another good way for that to happen. So you might want to put the spouse on the weak leg for big bonuses, or you might want to put your spouse on the strong leg for long-term growth. So let's show how this would work if you have a spouse in your weak leg. And I think the same idea is true for your second CBC, you know, which is something like Mindy, or as you go to 2-star, you need to start worrying about. So on your own, let's say you sell a program like T25 for $130. You know, that comes with, or Shakeology. So you would make a commission of $32, which is 25% commission. I mean, that's pretty good, but can we make it better? So with the family method now, you sell the same T25 or Shakeology for about $130. Now your spouse, if you sell it under your spouse's account, they will make the $32 commission, and then you can make that extra $14 cycle bonus as an Emerald. Now if you're Ruby, the cycle bonus is 16, and as a Diamond, it's 18. So you can see from each sale, you generate a larger income, 36%, 37%, or as much as 39%, depending on your own rank. Does that make sense? I'm seeing a lot of heads nod. So my real question is, what would you prefer, that normal 25% sale, or maybe earn 36, 37, or 39%? And I think that's one of the things that we can do by putting that second CBC in our weak leg, or putting a spouse on the weak leg. So this slide's kind of about team cycle bonuses. How does it work? Well, every time your team sells 300 points, you make a cycle bonus. And this slide here is talking more about the best way to put in coaches. So let's talk about that quickly. You've got two sides, a left side and a right side. For the example that we show here, this left side is going to be shown as our strong side. So left side is our strong leg, just for this example. So you've got a couple teammates now that have come on your team, and that happens because there's people above you, you know, like Mindy, like Team Diesel, that are adding people below you. So by those people being added to your team, that's most likely going to become your strong leg, or the leg that you share with other coaches. Now, as they promote the products, they're going to generate PV by selling stuff like T25 and Shakeology. Remember, TV is total personal volume points from everybody on your team, and it's roughly equal to the discounted coach price. And for the sake of the discussion, I'm saying that T25 and Shakeology are each about not 100 PV, just to make it a little bit easier, but they're actually 90 PV each. So in this case, on your weak leg now, you sell just one product through your spouse, like Shakeology. You've only had to generate 100 PV or TV, only 100 of the $300 cycle bonus, and really only 1/3 of the volume. But because of this family method and having a strong upline and you only having to build 1/3 of the business, you've only had to do 1/3 of it. So not all uplines are going to give a ton of coaches underneath you. Sometimes there's weird placement errors, and sometimes not all teams will teach this method. But when we teach this method, we can help more of our teams get more of these team cycle bonuses. This slide just talks about either of your sides can be strong and weak. And it's really the same thing on either case. So this is a big presentation. I'm kind of skipping around here. So everybody talks about having this cool 2-to-1 volume ratio, having twice as much volume on one side as you do on the other side. And that allows you just to do 2/3 for the business. But in all honesty, your goal should be to try to make your legs even as possible. And if they're not even, then it's a good idea to try to get back to this 2-to-1 ratio. Whenever you have the 2-to-1 ratio, though, you're going to be generating carryover volume. So this happens when you cycle with 100 TV on one side and 200 TV on the other side. So your team had 100 TV on the left and 1,000 TV on the right. After the cycle bonus, you'll be left with 0 TV on the left and 800 TV on the right. You're left with 800 TV in carryover volume on the right side. Well, normally this is good, but after a certain number of cycles, what they call a master flush happens, and you're going to lose some volume. So master flush is when you lost the cycle bonus potential, and it's a sad thing. But if your legs are really strong, it'll come back. And you don't really want to have this weird, crazy ratio because you are team's effort. And for newer coaches, it can be significant because every one of those points for income.
Oh, did we freeze?
Wants to try coaching on Shakeology, maybe not, but probably isn't going to be a big recruiter. It makes more sense to put the weak coaches on the strong leg. And you need some coaches on each leg to get your rank. So most of the emeralds on this call, are trying to get 4 people on each side and 1 emerald on each side. But if you think about this as a fire and you've got a big fire on your strong leg and just a little fire on your weak leg, you want to add more fuel to the weak leg fire so you can make these bonuses increase and try to get back to this 1-to-1 ratio. And if it seems like 1-to-1 is kind of crazy, you've got 5,000 PV on one side and only 100 on the other side, then your best goal is to shoot for that 2-to-1 ratio, and that's really going to improve your cycle bonuses. So now that you're all emeralds, you're perfectly qualified to teach it. You can use the family method or host challenge groups or do the team cup, but either way you're paying it forward. So every time you get an emerald, your team is growing, which is more volume. They get free customers, so that's more volume. And if you get a couple emeralds, you'll advance to ruby, where you get the 5% matching bonus, and team bonuses now go up to $16. And that's going to get you close to that $1,000 per week. Now that you can also earn matching bonuses. So let's say you had a few more people on the team. You get a couple of emeralds. Now you're ruby. What happened? Well, a strong coach on your weak side signed up 2 coaches. They became emerald. And like as you're enrolling a lot of people, you might choose to give some coaches away to, you know, your family member, like a parent, a spouse, or a child. Either way, you get to ruby. The key is building these emeralds. Now, as soon as you get to ruby, you have a high enough rank to earn up to $1,000 per week in cycle bonus. So all the people on this call that have this goal of $1,000 per week, really the highest rank that you need to achieve is ruby. Now, I wouldn't say stop there. You know, we want everybody to go forward and get diamond. But just by adding a few more coaches to your team, you become diamond. And the advantages of diamond now, your matching bonus goes to 10%. You qualify to get free coaches from the company. I'll say that that's not, it's not happening a lot anymore. I might see 1 free coach every 3 or 4 months. And coaches that enroll from the company are what goes to the pool of diamond coaches to become your free coaches. Each team cycle bonus goes up to $18, and your maximum team cycle bonus per week can be $2,000 per week. And this slide just really talks about, you know, what matching bonus is, and when your PS coaches earn a cycle bonus, you get either 5%, 5 or 10% of their cycle bonuses. And this can be a large part of your income. When you talk about the highest people in the company, the 2-time 15-star diamonds, they've got a lot of people that are earning a lot of cycle bonuses, so their matching bonuses become really big. And your team cycle bonuses are limited, but your matching bonuses are not. So this is just a slide that shows you how big team cycle bonuses can get per rank. We talked about if you're just a coach, you really can't earn any team cycle bonuses yet. As an emerald, you can earn up to $250 per week. And as a ruby, $1,000 per week. And a diamond, that goes up to $2,000. So depending on what your income goal, each star diamond rank is really just $2,000 more than the rank. So if you're a 4-star diamond coach, you can earn up to $6,000 per week. And this is some analysis that shows really what it takes to get to these higher ranks. If you have a really uneven team, you're not quite at that 2-to-1 ratio yet, it makes sense to go all the way here from 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, because you're building all your diamonds on your weak leg. But as soon as you have to try to get 5-star, now you have to put an extra coach in your strong leg. So it's going to take some of that fire away from where you really want to build. All right, so that's kind of talked about placement and how to maximize income. Just looking through the slides here to all right, so the other topic that Mindy wanted me to talk about was becoming an elite or a premier coach. So if I'm going to give some advice on that, I've created a website that I use to track my elite coaching rank every year. So I'm just going to go to that website and show you how to use that. If we go to Coach Tools, I'm sorry, it's coachtools.org, O-R-G. All right, you should see this website if you go to coachtools.org. And on here, there's about 12 different tools that I've used to help me get to, you know, the things that I need to do. There's templates, which are business cards and stickers. I've got a Facebook application you can make, business activity tracker, rank calculator. But what we were talking about is this elite calculator. Remember, I already talked about Emerald Cost Analysis, and if we were to look at that website, again, it gives you an Excel sheet you can talk about. There's a call that I did with Barbie about the statistics of it and how the numbers all work out. But we were talking about this elite calculator. So if you go to elitecalculator.com, you can get there from coachtools.org. It allows you to download this spreadsheet. So I'm just going to open up that spreadsheet and give you an idea of what it takes to become elite. So the trick for elite is you have to be a 5-star diamond in your first center. For Premier, I think that changes a little bit. And what you have to do is there is 3 different ways to earn points. For every 10,000 points, volume points that your team earns more than last year, you get one elite or Premier point. Every time you have a personally sponsored coach that enrolled this year that does 500 PV, personal volume, you get an extra point. And the third category is every time you have a personally sponsored coach that you enrolled this year that does Success Club 5, you get an extra point. And the Success Club points are considerate because if you do your Success Club 5 too, the points that you get from personally sponsored coaches doing Success Club doubles. So I think the numbers are a little bit different this year. I think this year we need, last year it was 125 points to get to elite with 5-star diamond. You also have to sponsor 2 new diamond coaches this year. So if any 2 coaches in your downline that you've sponsored go to diamond for the first time this year, that's one of the qualifications you need. They don't have to be enrolled this year, just not previously a diamond. And for Premier, I believe that's just the 2-star rank. But this year, I think it's up to 150 points. Is that right, Mindy?
Yeah.
So what I've done here is every month, you're going to get this email from Beachbody. So what I've done is I just keep track of the emails that I get from Beachbody, the date which they come, which are usually for the month previous. So you might not get your first January report until about the 10th of February. There, sometimes it tells you how you're ranked between all the coaches in the company for your elite ranking. It's going to tell you your current rank. So if that's not at the 2-star or 5-star that you want to get Premier or Elite, you're going to work on that. It's going to tell you the volume that you did last year, and it's going to tell you the volume that you've accumulated this year. So one of the things I do is I estimate this volume based upon a few months. And so for me here, it looks like it's going up about 243,000 volume points a month, 369,000 volume points a month. So I average that out, comes out to be about 300,000. So I added those to each month all the way through the year. And that gives me a prediction of how many elite points I'll earn in that category. The tricky thing about becoming either elite or premier is that each of these categories are limited to a certain number of points. So if you can max out your volume points, you can earn 40 points in that category. If you can max out your personally sponsored coaches doing 500 PV, you can earn 55 points in that category. if you can maximize your Success Club, your PS coaches that do Success Club this year, you can earn, I have it written down 59, but maybe that's 60
I think
elite. Go ahead.
I think it changed to, it's not on here, I don't think. I think it changed.
Yeah, go ahead and look up those numbers if you can. But you can see
max 61 for the Success Club, and then max 40 for the team volume. I think, what is it? Yeah, 61 for Success Club, 61 for the personally sponsored coach, personal volume, and 40 for the ATV.
Right. So if you can look at that, right, and I'll add those. One of the hard tricks about becoming elite is not necessarily, doing well in any one of these categories. You might be great at recruiting, you might have a ton of volume. But the problem is if you want to get to 150 points and there's only 162 available, you basically need to maximize each one of these categories. So for myself, like, I have such a huge team, thanks to all your efforts, the efforts of Diesel and great folks like Jeff Armbruster and other people on my team. I have a huge number to overcome every year. Like, it was 2.2 million for 2013. So for me to get those points, it'll take me well throughout the year, and I use this chart to see when I can start earning those points. So based upon this calculation for last year, I wouldn't earn any points until August of that year, but because volume from our team is so high, it would quickly max out that category. So I think what I would say here is you want to just do things that encourages your team to maximize volume. And that's stuff like being in the team cup. That's stuff like running team challenge groups, working together to help enroll people. I think, this month with the 21-day fix on a great deal, and then 21-day fix extreme coming up, that's a huge opportunity for you to get a lot of points in that volume category. But let's say you do that. Let's say you go ahead and you max out those 40 points. What you're going to see now is you need to get roughly about 60 points in each of these other two categories. The volume is kind of nice because that works for, I think I have that backwards. Success Club points work for anybody that enrolled in the last 2 years. So anybody in 2015 or 2014, whenever they do their Success Club points, you get a Success Club point for it. Now, if your goal is to earn 60 points in that category, and we only have 12 months to do it, you're going to want to get about 5 coaches each month from last year and this year that are doing their Success Club 5. And then when you do your Success Club 5, that number gets doubled. Same thing up here for personally sponsored coaches this year that do at least 500 PV. You're going to want to be on target to have 5 coaches per month that are doing at least 500 PV if you want to get to that point where it's going to get 60 points in that category. So I think a couple things just to point out, and I think you've probably already got it, is that Elite and Premier are great things to get. But the trick is generating volume with your team and enrolling coaches that do Success Club 5. So if you can focus on those things and then do them in this right fashion, then you're on track to earn the elite qualifications. And the only other 2 things you need to focus on is building 2 new diamonds this year and having that rank either 2-star, 5-star, if you want to go to Premier or to Elite. So I'm kind of going all over the place. I threw some of these slides together at the last minute, and my apologies for not being as prepared as I would like to be. But if you guys have some extra time and you want to ask any other questions, I feel that I'm really good at building income and volume. And hopefully I've given you some clarity on how to go Elite or Premier this year as well.
So are you done sharing the screen?
Yeah, I can stop.
One thing that I guess I want to talk to all of you about too is that whenever I met Jason in January 2 years ago, hey Brody, he asked me, he's like, what are your goals? And I was all over the place. And I think a lot of you are the same way because you're trying to chase what you see top coaches, some of the top coaches doing. You have big income goals, all these different things. So the thing is, one thing that sticks out in my head that Jason said, and he can probably elaborate on this when I'm done, was that it's really hard to chase, rank and income at the same time. It's also really hard to build a business and stay focused on your transformation. So the thing is, I know a lot of you are, not picking on Leslie, but Leslie's very regimented about what she does. And she has a lot of these things that are very important to her. So you're honestly going to have to pick it and find a balance. I will admit in 2013 and 2014, my transformation kind of took a backseat. And I'm glad that Jason told me this because it's especially in 2013 when I was trying to leave my job, because that was one of my big goals, was to quit by my 2-year anniversary. It was a lot to manage. So you have to kind of, balance out your time. Like I know Leslie has, her like a 4-hour slot. So she has to pack a lot in there. A lot of you are trying to balance work, household duties, things with your spouse, and building business. So that makes it a little harder that you don't have like a 4-hour chunk. I have all this time and I have ADD and I'm all over the place. So we all have our own struggles. The thing is, evaluate what you want. I remember one thing that he asked me was like, well, what is your goal? And I said, really, I want to leave my job. I hate it. I'm miserable. I can't balance all this out. It was getting so busy with all my coaches and all the things I need to manage. I'm like, I got to get out of here and I'm about to lose my mind. So then he asked me questions. And the things I want to ask you is like, are you hitting Success Club every month? If you're hitting Success Club every month, I was hitting like 20 some odd points. Like, I mean, it was crazy. And so he was like, well, why are you getting all under you? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know any different. So this is the thing, like Becky didn't, we just plugged into Jason right around this same time. So her and I were building it with Christine at the same time. We had no path. You guys really are blessed that you have me who understands, Jason who's willing to help. So hopefully you can maybe curtail some of the wasted time that I had. But if you're hitting more than Success Club 10, because I really think if you're hitting Success Club 10 or 5 every month, obviously that needs to be important, because like you grow your business, you get all the recognition, the prizes, yada, 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 yada. But if you're hitting more than Success Club 10, if you're focusing on volume and income, you might want to roll anything over Success Club 10 under your spouse, because that's going to do what he was saying, the family sharing. However, I will say this disclaimer is last year I was trying to build Ryan's business to diamond, because obviously if you've read the elite requirements, and I hope you have, because this is your responsibility. I will give you reminders, but it's your responsibility to read the requirements and follow it, not mine. This is your business. I'm here to just help you along. But you need to have a personally sponsored diamond to help you get to elite or premier last year. So I wanted him to be one of my diamonds because I knew for sure I could hold that, because I really didn't know if Melissa was going to go, or Jamie or Louise or, all these people. It was variables, but I knew I could control his account. However, when I did that, when I rolled anything over Success Club 10, and when I was putting coaches in there to place, which is kind of a crapshoot, you don't really know if these coaches are going to do anything. So I was just placing lots of coaches over there. And it was important for me at the time for him to get Success Club, for recognition, for the Success Club leads, blah, 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 blah. When I did that, I would take coaches that I had as challengers. When I would roll them over as a new coach, they'd buy a challenge pack. I'd get Success Club under him. However, I didn't really think about it, and I started panicking in September of 2014 because I was like, oh, my God, I hadn't gotten to, like in May of 2013, I had already gotten my points for elite, 125 points. Here in September, I was like, oh, my God, I only have 100 points. And then the panic set in, and I thought I was going to hit elite. So I sacrificed 40,000 ATV points to him. So that took me longer to get my elite, points. I don't know if you're all following this. I hope you are. I can go back over this later on. The thing is, if you're building your spouse's CBC and you're transferring customers or Success Club points over them, you're sacrificing the volume that will help you get your elite points. Does that make sense, Christina? I saw you kind of shaking your head like you didn't understand. We can go over this a little more in depth with your call. The thing is, if you are building your spouses, you're losing some of the volume. So I had to reevaluate my goals. So make sure that whenever you write your goals, you figure out what's most important. First of all, getting Success Club 5 or 10 is very important. If you're wanting to get volume and rank isn't a big deal to you, then you can build a spouse's CBC if you want. These are things that I can go over on one-on-one calls with you because I missed 2 calls last week. I'm sorry, I had my head up my ass. But I am doing 30-minute calls with coaches. So if you want me to do a little more isolated conversation about this instead of a big group, but just make sure that you write your goals. I want to see everybody's goals, and me verbalizing to Jason help me prioritize which one needed to come first. You can't, build a spouse's CBC without kind of sacrificing some of your own. Did you want to encapsulate on that, Jason? Because I'm kind of all over the place. I know that.
No, I think that's a really good point. Are you seeing my screen again?
Yeah.
So I really think it comes down to this one slide or this one idea. Dropped off again. And that slide really tells what I think recommended priorities should be. Because as it's hard to sit here with a group of 10 people and say, this is what your business is doing now and this is what you should do. I can't specifically answer that without your accounts, without actually looking at each one. But like Mindy said, her need, the need that she had in her family and her current situation was to leave that job. So leaving that job comes down to priority number 3, earning a nice income by building volume. But yet the thing that she was focused on, because of the way that the company gives so much recognition to stuff like top coach and top coach trip and elite, is she was focused on priority number 2, Success Clubs. And like she said, she was doing a ton of Success Club points, like 20 points per month. And I'm like, well, this is awesome, but why are you trying to get so many Success Club points? Like, are you going to be top coach this year? Do you want to go on that trip? And, if honestly that's what you want and that's what you're going for, I have no problems with it. I just want people to be conscious of, like, what they're trying to achieve. I guess I get kind of raw here, but, like, if you think about it, body promotes Success Club points because it means that that's a customer who's going to do Shakeology over and over and over again. And that's how they build the most income. That's not necessarily how you build the most income. You build the most income from from volume. So what Mindy's talking about is in order for her to increase the volume, she had to work on that weak leg. That's where her husband was. And by putting more orders under the husband, which put the volume in that weak leg so that she could make extra cycle bonuses and get her husband up to diamond so she could become 2-star, she wasn't earning as many successful points. So this is a concept from Tony Robbins, is there's only 6 human needs: certainty, variety, recognition, love, growth, and contribution. Like, if you think about the highest level people in the world, the Bill Gates and like the Donald Trumps and the Warren Buffetts, they're in a position where they can contribute a lot of their wealth back, and they do so. But 90%, or let's say 70% of our population purely operates from certainty and recognition. They want to know where their next meal is going to come from, and they want to feel good about the work they're doing. Beachbody knows this. Like, every good employer knows this. And so they deal out recognition in the form of t-shirts and bobbleheads and elite and, some of these other things. I think elite is a great achievement to have. Mostly I believe that because it means you're doing a certain amount of work every year. And they got that elite qualification by looking at successful coaches and looking at the minimums that they were doing every year. So you go back to people like Barbie Decker and Monica Ward that have done elite every year. They're signing up about 2 new coaches a month, and they're adding 2,000 volume points more than they did last year to their teams. And that's how the company comes up with this. However, if you break down, besides the recognition, what you actually get for being elite, all you really get extra is that extra $500 a month. So if you're a new coach, that would be significant. But if I could show you how to earn an extra $1,000 a week by placing that volume in a different location, say under your husband like Mindy did, and getting yourself to 2-star where you make an extra 18% bonus by having that cycle in your weak leg, then you need to think, do I want more recognition or do I want the certainty that comes from the extra income? So everything that Mindy said was true, and I just kind of wanted to give you a better explanation why. Now, I work with a lot of coaches. I just worked with Anita Miran last week, who's number 4 or 5 in the company. And I did a downline analysis of her business, and she was missing out on $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a week because she was chasing these Success Club points and trying to get to top coach, but not building like her husband's center and her mom's center that had a ton of volume in them. So I would ask yourselves each that question. You know, what is it that you're doing the business for? Like, you might be in a horrible relationship where you get no love, everybody at work mistreats you, and you might just say, you know what, Jason, I want recognition. And there's nothing wrong with that. Honest to God, there's nothing wrong with it. I just want to make sure that you're conscious that you're going after rank and top coach and winning these contests because you want to feel better about yourself. And as long as you're conscious of that, go for it. But if instead what you're saying is, no, I want a nicer house, or I want a nicer car, or we need more money, I want my husband to be able to quit work, or I want to quit work, then focus on the priorities that I've listed here. You know, number 1, help yourself get fit, both physically and financially. That's why we all got started with this. Focus on the Success Club, at least 5 every month, you know, because that's going to give you that extra trip. And you need to be recruiting at least 2 to 5 new coaches a month. If you're not, you're really not actively in this business. And then don't feel uncomfortable about that 3rd priority. I know a lot of coaches come in this business and they're like, well, I just want to help people and I want to get fit, but I don't care about the money. And I think it's important to always have an income goal, because the more income that you earn, the more opportunity you have to share the message. So, you know, you look at Mindy now, like 2 years ago, she wouldn't be able to be a full-time coach and run these meetings and, you know, probably have time to talk to all of you and help you grow your business. But because she's done income based upon our conversations on maximizing volume, now she's got more resources to help more people. So if anybody has trouble setting an income goal, think about that. I want more income so I can help more people. And then my 4th priority is about rank. You know, if you're chasing rank, and you know, I see this all the time. Like, I've got a new coach on my team who's doing really good, enrolling tons of people, and he's trying to get to 3-star. And I'm like, why do you want 3-star? He's like, well, it's a higher rank. And I'm like, yeah, but how much volume are you earning per week? And he's like, well, you know, I only have enough volume to make about $2,000 a week. And I'm like, well, you can do that as a diamond. There's no reason for you to be a 3-star. You should focus on putting the volume on the weakest leg so you increase your income more. And there's definitely ranks that are important. And that's why on this particular chart, I put build 2-star CBCs over and over. And the best thing about a 2-star CBC is it's just like the spouse method. You're always going to put your second center in your weakest leg, because that's going to allow you to make more cycle points. And the neat thing about this is when you go 2-star, you get a second center, and now you can put volume in your weak leg and still earn Success Club points, because all of your centers roll together their Success Club points, and now that's going to contribute to you winning Team Cup challenges and getting on the cruise or the Cancun trip and going for top coach. So that's one of the things that we should all put on our goal list is building to 2-star. And it's not a coincidence that that's one of the qualifications for elite. Like, one of my goals every year is to build a new 2-star center every year. And then it allows me to put a new center so I can diversify my business and build that income where I need it to be. And then after that, I say focus on prizes and incentives. And a lot of people think it's funny I put the star diamond bonus way down here as priority 7 or beyond. And the reason is I see a lot of people chasing the bonuses. The 15-star bonus is as much as $40,000 a quarter. The 10-star bonus drops down significantly, so maybe like 20. 5-star bonus maybe is $2,000 a quarter now, and 2-star bonus, you're lucky if you get $1,000. And that sounds like a lot of money, but if you're building to get the star diamond bonus, you may not be building the volume in the best place. And even the highest of those bonuses, $40,000 over a quarter, which is 12 weeks, only comes out to be $2,000 or $3,000 a week. And again, that sounds like a lot, but if I had 15 diamonds all producing a lot of volume, I would put those 15 diamonds in a place, in a location that's going to maximize my volume well more than that extra $2,000 a week, and not have to micromanage people to keep their rank over and over and over. And that can be a very challenging part when you're dealing with trying to keep 15 diamonds active for 6 weeks in a row to get that star diamond bonus. So I hope, my goal here is try to share some of the things that's worked for me, broaden your perspective, number one, internally about what your own goals and needs are. And then number two, give you a wider view of the best way to build this business for you. I offer business analysis for anybody on our team. My team is huge now, 40,000 coaches, which is amazing because I started, with just myself like everybody else. But the best time to do that is as you're approaching that 2-star rank. Have me set up an interview with me on jasondiebold.com. I've got a scheduler there. And then I can look at your business and tell you the best way to build it. And it might be something you're not thinking of. Maybe you've got a husband with a ton of volume. Maybe it's getting to the 2-star. But usually around the 1-star, 2-star level is the best time for us to meet, and I can individually look at your accounts. In lieu of that, use these priorities. Look at jasondiebold.com. I've got my speech from leadership a couple years ago that really talks about how to maximize these numbers. And there's also a talk on YouTube called Emerald Talk by Jason Diebold. It's something that Kelly Ryan posted. And those are really the tools that you should be using until you get to about that 2-star mark. And then I'm more than happy to give my time and resources to you to help you, maximize your potential. I'm going to turn it back over again, Mind, if there's any questions or.
I know that this was a long call. I appreciate it, Jason, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know the Texas people are tired. I know your heads are probably swimming. I have calls set up with most of you weekly or bi-weekly. If you want to, I don't think I have any with Christina Lewis. If you want to work with me, we can to help you evaluate your goals. One thing like I said is that it's so hard to evaluate your goals when you see what other top coaches are doing, when you see what I'm doing, and it's really good for you to personalize it. So if you do want a short call to go over your goals, that's fine. Like I said, Jason's offered his help. This is beginning of the year. Every year I've started off exactly where you were. Last year in 2013, I was kind of lost. Once I met with him, it became clear. I hit elite in 2013. In the beginning of this year, I was scared to death. So I can relate probably how a lot of you may be feeling now, especially a lot of you who've hit diamond or close to diamond, and you're like, it just seems like you can never get there. There's still 11 months and a week left, or a little less than a week left. You can do it. If I did it with everything that I had in my way, you can do it. There is no right or wrong reason. This is one thing I've been telling all my coaches coming on board, is that there is no right or wrong set of goals or thing. I'm a recognition chaser, not rank. I don't need to know what my rank is, but elite gives me that love and the recognition I've never had in my whole entire life. It gives me part of something. So for me, that's important. As long as I make, what I'm making now, I'm good if I never make any more money than that. My husband's not, because he's like a money chaser. But for me, I love being elite. I never want to not be elite. So that's what's important to me. Like I said, I stopped building Ryan's business because I want to make sure I get the elite points. And because really he hit diamond last year, so he serves me no purpose in the elite scheme of things anymore because I'm making enough money that I don't need him to get Success Club because I don't care about the extra Success Club gifts and I don't care about the Success Club leads. So the thing is, like, your goals are going to change. Like Louise said in the chat thing, her goals keep changing. So reevaluate your goals. And like I said, Ryan served a purpose in my elite path for 2014. He serves no good anymore. He is just there as a coach, and if I ever need to if I'm like at 9-star in September or October, and I want to get to 10-star for that that extra bonus or whatever the hell it is I want, then I can pop him back up to diamond. So he does serve some purpose, but not in elite. So the thing is, if you're having a hard time evaluating your goals, reach out to me, reach out to Jason, whatever it is. But just know that there's no right or wrong reason. I just want to feel loved. That's it. I'm like, I like the affection. I like to feel like I'm part of something. So that's my goal. Elite doesn't have to be your goal. If it's about getting out of your job, paying off a mortgage, not having your kid in daycare, whatever it is, then go after volume. Like I said, there is no right or wrong reason. But the big thing is make sure you set 2-star because that's the path to elite. That's the path to making extra income. That is the path to, recognition for different things. So 2-star has to be on your goal list. So with that being said, the call is a lot longer than normal. Thank you all for hanging in. Thank you, Amy. She took a melatonin earlier and I thought she was asleep at one point in time. So awesome. I'm gonna take a picture of us real quick. So smile big. Ready? Hold on. There you go. Thank you guys. I will set up the event invite for the last Tuesday of February.
Yeah, I mean, just for 1 second, I put this necklace on. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I like the recognition. One of my goals this year is to go back to the elite because I want to be on stage. I want to be looked at as a leader. But it's like I've got 3 of these same necklaces, right? And I know, Mindy, you've already got a couple of these as well. And it's just got a year on the back. Like, you put it up on a shelf, you never look at it again. And I've got all the different ranks, right? Diamond, 1-star, 2-star, all the way up to the 9-star rank. But it's like I don't use these things. And, I get on stage for, 15 minutes at Summit. And by all means, I want to be on stage. But the better usage of my efforts long-term are based upon the income that affords me to do whatever I want. So, again, just look at those priorities. I think as you start a new year, it makes a lot of sense, like Mindy's alluding to about her husband, is that you want to enroll good people in the beginning of the year. And I think it's the best time to do it because people have got fitness goals and the new 21-day fix is coming up, the new Beachbody On Demand. Get the new coaches in early and they'll be earning the Success Club points and the volume all year long. That's going to make those points add up and get to where you want to be. And then, come end of February and March, start looking and then deciding, like, do I need to maximize the volume? Am I going to get my 2 diamonds this year? Is elite a chance? And what am I giving up in terms of volume to do it? But, great advice. You guys have great leaders here. I'm a little jealous that, although everybody's on my team, I'm a little jealous that Becky and Christine and people like Mindy aren't above me because such great leaders. And I'm just happy to be part of it. And thank you all for your contribution. And again, use my services when you get up to those tricky points, when you're going to open that second CBC or third CBC and want advice. A lot of times I don't do anything different than what you would do, but just to get a confirmation from another set of eyes who maybe has been doing a little bit longer can help out. So thanks for having me on the call. Thanks, Mindy, and continued success, everyone.
Thank you. See ya.